It's amazing how one small act can inspire an entire community of people to come together for a truly selfless cause, just to put a smile on one person's face. That's the story I'm going to tell you on this episode of Talking About Records. My name is G.I. Sanders from NTX Vinyl, a small chain of independent record shops in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you're not local, but you are in the United States, you can shop with us anytime at ntxvinyl.com, and would love it if you'd follow us across social media. At NTX Vinyl is the handle on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and of course would love it if you'd subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. I am incredibly excited to share this story with you. It has been an amazing experience, very inspiring, for lack of a better word, for myself, as well as a lot of other people who are involved in this story, as you will learn. It all started with a letter. It started with this letter right here. This letter was sent to North Texas Vinyl to accomplish an assignment that was given to a student in California, Missouri, a very small town in the Midwest. Not a town that you would associate with NTX Vinyl, us being a shop based down in Dallas. But what happened was a teacher in middle school in California, Missouri, she's done an assignment for 20 years now. And that assignment is kind of outside of the box a little bit of the normal curriculum, but the assignment is for the students to learn how to write a letter. First of all, learn how to address a letter, the lost art of letter writing. And so the assignment was to find a small business that you might be interested in and do a little research on them and write them a letter and tell them how much you appreciate what they do as a small business, right? Very simple lesson in regards to figuring out how to write a letter and then showing some appreciation for a small business, right? So I received this letter, again, from a 7th grader, and immediately I knew it was kind of special. I knew it. One of my team members who actually retrieved the letter knew it, and that was because it had this on the back. First of all, we don't get a lot of letters, as you'd imagine, snail mail. And we definitely don't get one with, hand-drawn doodles or drawings on the back, right? So I got this letter, and I thought, oh, this looks kind of fun. And I sat down, me and my wife did, and I read it out. I remember I read it out loud to my wife because I was like, man, maybe this is kind of be interesting. I wanted her to have the same first impression as me. So for full context, I'm going to read you the letter. It's very brief. Dear North Texas Vinyl, my name is Irelyn, and I am a 7th grader at California Middle School in California, Missouri. Our teacher, Mrs. Williams, is helping us understand the critical role small businesses play in our economy. We have been researching successful small operations in the United States, and North Texas Vinyl really stood out to me. After several weeks of researching small businesses, yours stole my heart. Your stores were still somewhat new, and yet you still managed to survive the pandemic, and that must have been very difficult. I like that you guys are family owned and you have 3 locations. I think it's really cool that you have all of the Taylor Swift records. She is my idol. Congratulations again on your continued success, even through a worldwide pandemic, and thank you for your contribution to our nation each day. I know you get so much joy when you see smiles on your customers' faces, and I hope 2024 brings you and your staff another great year. Sincerely, Irelyn. So I read this letter, and I was like, man, that's really cool. Like, my initial thought was like, that's really cool and unique. Again, we don't get a lot of letters. My wife said the same thing. We read it to our kids, and everyone was like, wow, that's really neat that someone would take the time to handwrite a letter and reach out to a business across the country. It just felt genuine. It felt special. And, of course, I'm like, it's probably for an assignment, but I wonder what the assignment was. We didn't really know. And so we stewed on it for a little bit. I was like, you know what, let me share this with some other people to see if I'm the only one that thinks this is really, really cool. And so for context, one of the things I do at NTX Vinyl is I spend a lot of time and effort building community. This YouTube channel is a big part of that. Another big part of that is a Facebook group called Now Spinning, which is a Facebook group that has almost 5,000 members now from across the world. Lots of great collectors, lots of friends, lots of customers of NTX Vinyl. So I posted the letter in the envelope to the Now Spinning group, private Facebook group. And I didn't, I'll show you the post. I didn't give it any context. It just said no words. I didn't know at this point. I knew it was cool. I knew it was unique, but I didn't know more than that. So I just put it out there. The response was overwhelming. Several hundred people basically confirmed that, yes, this is really, really cool. This is special, which was awesome. I wasn't the only one who kind of saw that. And the initial response from myself was like, well, I've got to send her a letter back. You know, I got to send her a letter. I should probably send her a Taylor Swift record. That would be really cool. But all I have is the school's address. And I was like, can you send a package to a school addressed to a student? Will it even get to them? I'm not sure. So we were having some of those conversations in the group amongst several hundred people who were now kind of interested in this topic. And someone took it upon themselves to go to Google, find the school, find Mrs. Williams, and find her email address. And I thought, okay, cool. Well, I'll at least reach out to her, because what I don't want to do is send a record or even the letter and it not end up making it to her. So I woke up the next morning feeling great, because a lot of people were like, man, this letter's so cool. And I went ahead and sent an email to Mrs. Williams just to see if I could make contact with her, to make sure, to basically say, hey, is Irelyn your student, right? So I sent that email the next day. And then I just kind of waited, right? The next day, while I was waiting for that response, it was a Friday, I remember. And I do something unique in the Now Spinning group every Friday called Freebie Friday. It's very simple. I give away records, right? I'll pick a record or two or three, and I'll make a post every Friday. And everyone in the group, as long as you're a member in the group worldwide, has a chance to enter to win that record. So this Friday, I didn't really have anything planned for Freebie Friday, but I thought, but Irelyn was on my mind because of the letter. And I was thinking about the Taylor Swift record. And the good thing is like midday, I heard back from Mrs. Williams, the teacher. And she said, yes, Irelyn is my student. And I was like, great. And then it gave me the idea, well, okay, now I'm in touch with the teacher. So at least I know I'll be able to get her a record, right? If I send her a record. So I thought, you know, I'll send her a Taylor Swift record. So for Freebie Friday, instead of going and giving a record to someone in the Now Spinning group, I said, you know what, instead of doing that this week, I'd like to give this record, this Taylor Swift record, a copy of 1989. I'd like to give this to Irelyn. But so many people showed interest. I was wondering if anyone would like to chip in. Maybe we could send her a couple Taylor Swift records. But at that point, I'm like, well, what if she doesn't have a turntable? You know, because I kind of feel bad sending a 7th grade girl a bunch of records and she has nothing to play them on. So maybe we could raise enough to maybe even get her a beginner turntable. And so I said this as my Freebie Friday announcement. If you want to donate $1, you know, if we get a couple hundred people out of the thousands in the group to donate $1, you know, maybe we could raise enough money to send her a beginner starter turntable and a couple records. That was it. I was like, that would be amazing. At the very least, I'm going to send her this copy of 1989 and probably make her day, because she got her free record for writing this letter for a school assignment. So that was mid-afternoon on that Friday. Fast forward a little bit to that night, Friday night. I remember being out to dinner. We're leaving dinner. And by that point, we had raised, I think, over $700. I was completely blown away. Like, I literally thought I would get a handful of people to just donate $1 each, which is all that I kind of asked for. People were donating $20, $50, $100, all towards this girl that we don't even know. All we know is her first name, and we know where she's at. So it was unbelievable. I remember going to bed that night, and I kind of updated the group, because now so many people had contributed money and their time for being interested in this story, I felt kind of obligated to keep the group posted. So I remember before I went to bed that first night, I posted, I was like, hey, a total of X number of $100, I think it was $700+ have been donated. I'm gonna call it a night. You people are amazing. This has just been more than I would have ever even imagined. Went to bed. Woke up the next morning. Donations had still come in, and I think we were maybe around $1,000. So I woke up that morning, and I responded to Mrs. Williams at this point now, and I'm just going to read you my email, because at this point, all I had said to her was that, I got her letter and it's confirmed she was a student. And I said, "Hello, Miss Williams. I just wanted to follow up with you. My intention was simply to send a nice letter back to Ireland with a Taylor Swift record as a gift to say thank you. But something amazing happened over the weekend. I shared her letter with my community of record collectors in the Now Spinning group, and people loved it so much that they wanted to donate and get her an even better gift. Over 200 people at this point collectively donated $1,000 to be gifted to her. Yes, you read that correctly. I'm still shocked and overwhelmed by this. My thought now is that I can easily send Irelyn a turntable and a nice collection of all of the Taylor Swift albums on vinyl. Even after that, I would have enough money to make a donation from NTX Vinyl to California Middle School, maybe to the music department or something like that." And I said, "This probably sounds crazy to you, but I promise it's real. I don't want to overwhelm you or Irelyn, and I want to make sure to go about this the right way. Please let me know what you recommend, and I will follow your lead." The email response from Kelly, Mrs. Williams, Kelly Williams, was absolutely incredible. And again, I'm sharing pretty much as each step of the way, I'm sharing all of this with the Now Spinning group, the people who have donated, because I feel obligated to do that. Kelly responds and says, "What? I had to read this email multiple times. I can't even wrap my brain around it. This return act of kindness. This is truly the most incredible response I've ever witnessed in my 20 years of teaching. I can't even hold back my tears right now. I absolutely cannot wait to see Irelyn's reaction to this, and it is definitely getting returned to you via video footage so that you can share. Is there a contact number where I could talk to you? I'd love to touch base." So at this point, I'm like, wow, this is great. She gets it. So I was very excited to talk to Mrs. Williams. So I ended up connecting with her on a phone call, and like I said, she got it. She understood. And this is where I learned what the assignment was, which I told you at the beginning. This is where I learned that she's been doing this for 20 years and how unique it was and her point of view on small businesses. And so I was in touch with her, and I told her, I was like, "Hey, I just wanted to make sure that I'm able to send something to the school because I don't want a box to just show up unsolicited. I also wanted to make sure that Irelyn's parents were involved here, just to make sure this is all okay." The great part was Mrs. Williams had already contacted her parents. So I was like, "Oh, that's fantastic." So everything's on the up and up. And then probably about an hour after I spoke with Ms. Williams, I get a message from Irelyn's mother on social media, on Facebook. And she says, "Hey, I'm Irelyn's mother. I would love to, Mrs. Williams informed me what's going on. I would love to talk with you." So I got on the phone with her, and again, amazing response. The coolest part from talking to Irelyn's mother that I found out is that not only is Irelyn a huge music fan, which is why she chose a record store, but she also is actually wanting a turntable. So it turns out that her older sister had given a gift of a turntable to someone recently, so it was kind of top of mind. And they were already planning to buy Irelyn a turntable as a gift for Easter holiday coming up. So I was like, "Oh, that's amazing that she knows what records are." I mean, assuming she found a record store, so she's got a little knowledge, but the fact that she was actually already thinking about maybe wanting to get a turntable was really, really amazing. So I report all this back to the Now Spinning group. Everyone is just like, "Oh, this is so great. You're in touch with the teacher, you're in touch with the parents. We've raised all this money." And this is when the floodgates kind of open, because at this point, Mrs. Williams, Irelyn's mother and father, and tons of other teachers and staff from the middle school all started joining the Now Spinning group. Now, they aren't all record collectors, but I could tell by their locations that they were joining to try and figure out what was going on with this story, because they all know Irelyn, small town, small school. The really cool part at this point is Mrs. Williams posted a photo of Irelyn. This is when it really got real, because up until now, it was just a name. So now we got to see who this girl was, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm showing you this photo with permission from her parents. And this even just, again, put fuel on the fire of people getting involved. "Oh, that's amazing." At this point, the group had raised about $1,500. People are still sending me money. Every time I refresh my email, I'm getting PayPal notifications of people just sending me money to donate to the cause. A day or two after that, I'm in constant communication with Irelyn's mother, and she says, "Hey, we'd like to kind of put a cap on what you're giving to Irelyn so it's not too overwhelming. And then we'd like to actually match the donation for the school." So really incredible. At that point, we had raised about $2,200, and I had determined about $700 of that was going to pay for Irelyn to have a really nice new turntable, a great starter setup, an Audio Technica. It was very important to me that it was simple. I didn't want to overwhelm her. She's never owned a turntable before, so it's an automatic return turntable, but a great starter model, a nice set of clipped speakers, a really nice record collection. So all of that, it's about $700, which means we raised about $1,500 for the school, and Irelyn's parents are going to match that $1,500. So now, because of this one letter, the school is getting $3,000, which is going to be donated not to the music department because they had just recently done a fundraiser, but Mrs. Williams told me about this initiative where they've got kids who need headphones because all their headphones are old or they don't have them. So the donation to the school is going to support their technology department and getting new headphones for like not just this class, but the entire 7th and 8th grade, which is amazing, or maybe even a couple more grades than that. So a couple hundred students, I think. Really amazing. At that point, the other thing that developed is Irelyn's mother said, "Hey, this is amazing that you're sending, this stuff to Irelyn and the school's getting a donation, but what about the class?" So she offered to pay for t-shirts for the whole class. And I thought, well, that's fantastic. I can send them NTX Vinyl shirts, but should I just send them with our logo? And I thought, you know what? Irelyn took the time to draw this on the back. So let's turn that into the t-shirt. So we turned this into t-shirts and we sent these t-shirts to the entire class. We made stickers out of it, which I've sent to the entire class, and those are now going out to NTX Vinyl customers too, people who are aware of this story. So that was really, really cool. Again, all along the way, keeping the Now Spinning group posted because over 300 people from across the world had donated to this now. So I was not only overwhelmed with the story and the kindness coming from Mrs. Williams and coming from Irelyn's parents, but coming from this community, this vinyl community in the Now Spinning group of all these people who were just so excited to be involved. So I actually went on vacation with my family for a little bit, for about a week. It was during spring break. I came back and we had it all. We had the turntable, we had the records, we had the speakers, we had the t-shirts. I packed it all up, put it in these big boxes, and I shipped it to California, Missouri. And I told Mrs. Williams, "Hey, it's going to get here. You're going to receive it. Make sure the school knows." And then I found out that they had not only decided to, do this at the school, but they're going to make an assembly out of it. So it turns out that week at the school was Kindness Week. So this assembly at the end of the week was going to feature the reveal of all of this to Irelyn. Now, most importantly, this letter was actually written many months before it got lost in the shuffle. So Irelyn had pretty much forgotten about it. And it's been a while, so so no one expected her to be privy to any of this, and she had no idea any of this was going on in the background. And it's a private Facebook group where all this took place. And California, Missouri, Dallas, Texas. It's not like she's gonna come across this type of stuff, right? So the reveal was planned for that Friday. The news station in California, Missouri was actually supposed to be there and film it all for a story that was going to air that Friday night. Unfortunately, some breaking news came about and the news station wasn't able to attend. I did conduct an interview via Zoom call with the reporter at the station. She contacted me in the morning of. I did an extensive interview, which I've shared with the Now Spinning group, where I kind of rehashed the whole story, which I'm kind of doing now. And the most amazing part was that Irelyn's dad live streamed the entire thing. So you had the entire 7th grade in the gymnasium. They set up a PowerPoint presentation with screenshots from the Now Spinning group of all of these messages of the outpouring of support and how excited people were for her to to receive this gift and to become a record collector. Like we literally got to see someone get gifted all this to start their record collecting journey. Now, I don't know if Irelyn's going to stick with this for the rest of her life. I don't know if she'll have these records the rest of her life and this turntable and all that, but at the very least, she's going to have a shot. She's going to have a shot to appreciate physical media, to appreciate small business, to appreciate all these people who chipped in to make her day special. And so several hundred people tuned in to watch the live stream reveal. As you would imagine, Irelyn was completely caught off guard. I think in a lot of ways, just in shock. She had all of her friends and classmates and students in the gym, and she was opening up these records, pulling out all these Taylor Swift records. Not only did we include almost the whole Taylor Swift catalog, but one of the records, Midnight's, Taylor Swift's last record, was a signed copy from Taylor that was included. And then we also included some classic albums like Fleetwood Mac Rumors and Carole King Tapestry and Let It Be by the Beatles. So like a bunch of classic albums to kind of expose her to some older music, some classics, in addition to Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo and some other more modern stuff. So she got a collection of 20 records, a turntable, speakers. A couple members in the group pitched in, and one person made her a Taylor Swift tumbler, which was really cool. One person made her an actual now spinning sign for her to put her records. And then we all got to see these photos of Irelyn with her shirt on and with everything she got gifted. And then the best part was Irelyn's parents allowed her to join the group, and we got to actually see this video of her dropping the needle for the first time.
Hi everyone, this is Irelyn. Today was a crazy day, and I finally got caught up on everything that's happened. And as you can see, I'm all set up, and thank you guys so much for everything that you've done. I am super grateful. And so I wanted you guys to be here whenever I dropped the needle for the first time. So now spinning Lover by Taylor Swift.
A new record collector was born. Like, it was just amazing. The surrealness of the story. I'm honestly a little kind of sad it's all over, because it's this crazy, unique feeling that I've had for the last month being involved with this. I know everybody who was involved had the same feeling, but me being on the inside of it and being in personal communication with everybody, it was a very odd thing. Like, no one was hurt. No one was distraught. I mean, I've donated money to GoFundMe campaigns to people who need help before. This wasn't that. This was someone who just wrote a letter. The one thing that was included in the box that I didn't mention, other than the donation to the school, the records, the turntable speakers, was a letter that I wrote, because I figured this all started with Irelyn's letter. So I ended it with this letter. Dear Irelyn, my name is G.I. Sanders. I own North Texas Vinyl, the record shop you wrote to a few months ago in the Dallas, Texas area for your assignment in Mrs. Williams' class. First of all, please accept my apologies for taking so long to write you back. Your letter got misplaced and just recently made its way into my hands. I'm very grateful that it did. As you can likely imagine, we don't get many letters in the mail, especially not handwritten ones with decorated envelopes. My wife, Julie, and I read the letter in awe, and we shared it with our sons, Ben and Zachary, ages 13 and 10. As you know, we are a family-owned business, so it meant a lot that you would choose our company as the focus of your assignment. We were truly touched. I then shared your letter with some friends of mine, including my staff at NTX, many of our customers, and other dedicated record collectors from around the world, all in the Now Spinning group. It immediately touched them, just like it touched my family. Over the past couple of weeks, many thousands of people around the globe read your letter, have learned a bit about you, and were inspired to get involved in a big way. We all just wanted to say thank you, and this was our way of doing that. Enjoy the music. So that's what Irelyn got to read when she opened up all these gifts, and now she's in the Now Spinning group, and I'm still seeing things that are kind of going on as this story kind of comes winding down. It's been an amazing journey, amazing experience. I've never been a part of anything like this in my life. Something completely organic, something so genuine in the way that it started and the way that it developed, 100% unplanned. Like I literally was just going to send the girl back a letter and one record. And we ended up donating thousands of dollars to a school that is going to be really impactful. And we ended up making Irelyn's day and hopefully making a memory for her that she'll remember forever. I know that I'll remember this thing forever, and I know that everyone who was involved in it, who contributed, will remember it forever as something incredibly unique and incredibly touching. And I hope that I get to experience this same feeling again at some other point in my life. I don't know if that will be the case, but it's a moment in time that I'll always cherish, and I'm very happy to be able to share it with you here on the NTX Vinyl YouTube channel. So if you want to join the Now Spinning group, I would encourage you to do so, and you can go soon. You can see the history of all of these posts as it was happening live, and kind of follow the story and check it out from all the different points of view. So, thanks for watching. This has been a super fun episode to record. I will be back in the near future with other episodes of talking about records. My name is G.I. Sanders, and we'll see you again soon.